John Kilbride. Brady, according to her, wanted to do another one.
The children played out, and then John tormented his brothers and sisters. And I said, please go to the cinema, John. Stop tormenting your brothers and sisters. And don't forget, when Pauline Reed was missing, what I told you. Whoever did it is only a train ride away from here. So always be on your guard. And he just grinned, his cheeky grin, and bye, off he went.
John spent that Saturday afternoon at the cinema, but instead of going home afterwards, his adventurous spirit took hold.
Hey John, just check his old boxes.
Okay.
He was helping on the market ground, wasn't he? And he never thought he was doing anything like that. But he was earning a bit of pocket money.
They go to Ashton Market and they pick up John Kilbride. The excuse being, would he assist them to carry some boxes to the car? He speaks to him first of all.
In spite of the warnings, he was too trusting, especially a lady, because I never warned him about women, you know. There were no, well, I didn't think there were any bad women about.
She certainly was the pupil. She became as bad as the master. I don't think she ever became worse than Brady, because the bottom line is that the actual killing was carried out by him. But she allowed the killing to happen. She created the killing, and she gloried in it.
She accepts that when the boy was picked up from Ashton Market, that she knew that Brady was going to kill him. A 12-year-old, bright little lad, sees her, obviously then, is not concerned, jumps in the car, and of course he's driven up onto Saddleworth Moor, where he then is subjected to abuse.
Well, he didn't come home at 6:30, I thought. He stayed in the cinema to watch it round, which he could in those days. It carried right on.
She drops them off on Saddleworth Moor. Brady then walks down the moor with a little lad. And the arrangement is that he's been away about half an hour. She's to flash her headlights 3 times. He's going to respond with the torch. He's going to come back, get in the car, and they're going to drive away. When Brady comes back to the car, he was carrying a shoe, and he had a string, and he said he had a knife, that he was going to stab him, but the knife was blunt, and in the end he'd strangled the boy with the string. He tells her that he'd pulled the clothing down, and he'd smacked the boy. She asked him had he abused the boy, and he said something about what does it matter or something of that nature, but led her to believe from conversation or body language that indeed that had happened.
The killings triggered all Brady's sexuality. It was his sexuality is tied up in sadism and violence, and Myra Hindley as his partner also got a tremendous sexual high out of seeing him so aroused.
We moved to Keith Bennett. Brady had again decided that it was time to do another one.
I lived at this house at 29 Eston Street, 1964, the 16th of June, when my son, my oldest lad, disappeared. I gave him his tea, I washed his face, and I said, "Are you clean?" He said, "Yes, ma'am." I took him out. I was going to bingo, and the 2 girls were coming with me. We walked up Eston Street onto Addersage Road. From Addersage Road we crossed Plymouth Grove West, where the school he used to go to as a baby. I walked up to Stockport Road and seen him across the zebra crossings. I said, "I'll see you in the morning. Behave yourself for your gran." And that was the last I'd seen of him.
By this time they had a mini pickup. Hindley says that she's driving along with Brady in the back of the pickup, and that he knocks on the cab when he sees this young lad walking possibly along Grey Street. The boy's persuaded into the car to give them some assistance with some boxes or something of this nature. He gets into the vehicle and they drive up to Saddleworth Moor. Keith and Ian Brady set off walking onto the moor, and she followed. Didn't he question where he was going? I asked. No, and she said they went like lambs to the slaughter. She says that she followed them down the moor. They walked for quite a considerable way into the moor. Brady goes into this gully with the boy, and she says that she was instructed to be lookout. She said the boy was killed in this gully. He took a photograph of the child. Clothing was pulled down, showing that the poor lad had quite dreadfully suffered some sexual abuse. He buried the body with a spade. She then went on to describe the abduction and the murder of Leslie Ann Downey.
I think everybody loved Leslie. She never gave cheek. I never had to smack her. She always done as she was told. She came in from school overnight. She'd go up, change out of a uniform, make her bed, come down, do her homework. She was, well, every mother says she's perfect, but she was perfect.
Hindley says that they went to do some shopping at a supermarket where there was drink being offered at reduced prices. And they did some shopping and then they went on to this fun fair.
She said, Mrs. Clark's going to the fair and she'll have sixpence, the old 2.5p, Leslie. And she said, can I go with them? I said, as long as you're back here, madam, be a tea.
Whilst they're at this fun fair, some of the shopping is dropped. They ask this little girl who they see to assist them to pick up the shopping and carry it back to the vehicle. They offer to give the little girl some reward. Leslie Ann agrees to pick up the shopping, goes back to the vehicle.
I was getting tea ready and we're seeing her friends come back. And my son Tommy, he said, has Leslie come home, Mummy? I said, no, she's not with the girls. Go and see Mrs. Clark. He went on there looking, so I said to him, Tommy, where's Leslie? He said, Mum, she's crying. She's not on the fair and she didn't go with Mrs. Clark. She went with Mrs. Clark's 2 daughters. I was hysterical. And she wasn't there. The boys were crying. They'd all been round with the friends looking for her. She wasn't there.
They then had a Mini Traveller. They'd traded in the Mini pickup. They put her in the back of the car, they bundle some boxes around her, and they drive her then up to Wardlebrook Avenue on Hattersley. Clearly all this was pre-arranged because there was a tape recorder that had been switched on. Brady wanted to take photographs of the child, and That, of course, could not have happened on Saddleworth Moor. That is the only reason and explanation that they took the child to Waterbrook Avenue rather than went straight up on the moor with the child. They were getting confident, I think, by this time. Brady was wanting more. Or they were wanting more. They go into Waterbrook Avenue. Brady goes in with the child and she follows. She's got to put the dogs to one side, she says. She then goes on to describe an absolutely appalling set of events where the child is told to undress, the child is bound, the child is gagged. Brady takes photograph of the child in all sorts of different poses. This is a little 10-year-old girl. He tells her to go and run a bath. She sees that the child was bleeding, that there's a ligature around the child's neck, and that Brady carries the child and puts it in the bath and washes the blood off the child. And then they wrap the body in a sheet with the clothing, because the child is naked. And they put the body into the back of the mini traveller with a view to going up to Saddleworth Moor to bury it. She didn't go like a lamb to the slaughter, as Hindley had said the others did. She fought very violently until eventually she was quite horribly murdered.